An exciting race coming your way with 6 boats. This is the men's youth straight 4. This is 4s without coxswains, which is super exciting. It's lighter, it's deadlier because they're going to go faster, and it's also higher stakes for that bow person. Each person sitting to the left of your screen in each of those boats is responsible for making the calls, is responsible for steering these boats, and boy, it's a big ask and probably one of the tougher positions to sit in any boats on the water today. Whitney, would you mind reading us off our lane assignment for
I
for
would
this
love
one?
nothing more. Now that you said they're deadly, I'm extra excited to watch this race and see what happens. I love a good straight 4s race. So, lane 1, Oregon Rowing Unlimited. Lane 2, Lake Oswego. Lane 3, Bainbridge. Lane 4, Sammamish. Lane 5, Seattle Prep. And lane 6, Green Lake. And let's keep in mind that this is absolutely a race where top 4 will go on to youth nationals. And right now it is looking like we have our top 4 at this time. However, we will not write off the other ones below because now that we learned that this race is deadly, it is going to be very, very exciting to see what happens in the last parts of this race. So right now, I am going to actually give your leading position.
I think that's Green Lake.
I think
up
to
there.
Green Lake.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we have to give it to Green
Dang,
Lake
Green
and
Lake.
walking away.
Look at you go.
Exactly. So Green Lake, I'm going
Yeah.
to skip right over to Sammamish in lane 4. And then I'm going to skip right to lane 2, Lake Oswego. And then go to lane 1, Oregon Rowing Unlimited. Trailing, we will have Bainbridge and Seattle Prep, but not by much.
Yeah, this is turning into a really exciting race for that national qualifier spot and bronze. We're seeing a humdinger of a bout start to take place here as we approach the 6-minute mark of this race. They're all within 500 meters, and boy, oh boy.
Listen to the crowds on the shore
they're just
here.
jazzed. Everett doing a really good job right now, I think, of bringing up the speed. Oh no, that's not Everett. Who is this boat right here?
That would be Lake Oswego.
That is Lake Oswego.
Lake
Okay,
Oswego.
I saw the half.
And Oregon here trying to get back in the center of their lane. Again,
Yeah.
remember, they have no coxswains here. So this is pure rower athlete steering straight down the course.
Yeah, I think Oregon Unlimited in lane 1 just took that bronze medal spot.
Yes.
But who's it going to be for 4th?
Matthew Lee here rolling the dice.
We've got 2 bucket rigs competing for 4th, folks. We've got a 4th and 5th place race that will determine who is going to go to Florida.
That's right.
2 bucket rigs throwing down. We've got lane all the way up at the top. I think that is Seattle Prep.
Oregon Rowing Unlimited here at about a 40,
Wow.
looking over, and they are about to go for it here.
This race between Prep and Lake Oswego, though, Lake Oswego is in the lead for that 4th place spot. This is the all-important coveted national qualifier position. It looks like as we look at the race leaders, Green Lake is about to take the V. Green Lake is about to take the W here. Big finish from Green Lake. Holy smokes, they opened up a lot of open water towards the end of that race. That was cruising
Lane
speeds.
4, Sammamish here coming in
Gadzooks.
second.
Sammamish getting that silver. Well done them. Oregon Rowing Unlimited kind of coming behind to get that bronze. But who is it going to be for this 4th place boat? Gadzooks. Wow. It was Seattle Prep. I think Seattle Prep came in
Seattle
there
Prep.
to take it. Yeah.
Yep.
Well done to Prep for getting that Sarasota trip. Dang. That was some great racing, folks.
Good, and that would be
Yeah.
lane 2, Lake Oswego, barely missing out in the boat named the Muffin.
Indeed. Wow, well, that's a great name for a boat.
That is a great name for a boat.
All right. Unofficial times then. I think that we've got unofficial times to share. I also wanted to mention that the reason that I called this this race a little bit deadly is just that it is so much harder to maintain steering while you're rowing in a sweeping boat, and asking that of bow seats is a lot. So Green Lake won handily with a 6:54. Dang. With Sammamish right behind them, 8 seconds back for silver. Oregon Rowing Unlimited with the bronze. Seattle Prep just managing to pip out Lake Oswego for that 4th place spot. Congratulations to Seattle Prep, punching your ticket to Florida for the national champs later this summer, and heartbreak central for Lake Oswego, who was in 4th place for a little bit during that race, but just could not maintain the speed, and Bainbridge bringing up the rear of the pack there. Congratulations to them. Fun little rowing history anecdote. Whitney, did you know that there used to be coxless 6s that were raced?
No.
Yeah, coxless Coxless Sixes were actually one of the most popular events for collegiate rowing up until the early part of the 1900s, at which point they were disallowed because there were so many crashes between boats during those races because the bowman, as you can imagine, had his hands full trying to steer a six-man boat. And so there was a lot of speed, a lot of power in those vessels, and apparently they crashed nonstop, which is partially why the crowds loved them so much. There was a lot of betting done on those boats, and it was actually not so much about who would win so much as who would crash into who. So kind of some exciting rowing history for you.
Sounds like some bumps rowing.
A little bit, yeah.
I will counter your other historic facts there. We also used to have bow-loaded eights.
Ooh, neato.
Also actually deadly.
Cool.
So that is why those no longer exist anymore.
Because the coxswains were basically the
You would
crumple
get
zone.
crunched.
Jeez Louise.
Actually deadly.
Danger
That's right.
zone
So
across
you
the
will
board.
not really see those out on the water anymore, like you will see our next race that is coming down the course. But
Here
first,
we
we'll
go.
show you a little peek from the start here.
Yep. And we are in the B final of the men's Coxless 4 event. We got 3 boats in this one. In lane 3 to the left, Rose City, then Mount Baker in lane 4 in the middle there, and in lane 5 on the right. That is Oregon Rowing Unlimited B, throwing down for all to see. There they are on the screen. So much excitement ensues today.
Just a continuation of our A final here. We send off the B boats, which again may be very close in speed to a lot of these A boats. We may have
Indeed.
seen these crews in eights before, or in pairs, in other boats that are broken up. So many reasons to be in a B final here. But it looks like we are rowing a bucket in the lead, who is screaming down the course here.
It's a truck it bucket, folks. They are trucking along. It's a good time, and we're singing a song. That is actually not Rose City, despite having Rose City blades. I think that's Oregon Unlimited down there? No, Oregon's at the top. Okay. So that is Rose City. Never mind. Sorry. Rose City blades winning the day, and they're rocking and rolling down there in their bucket rig. Well done, them.
That is right. And it's like you've been spending a lot of time around a toddler here, listening to laying all those song lyrics out for us there, keeping us excited about Rose City here, stroked by Olin Kuskaden. So very well done. Olin Kuskaden takes a very special crew here, I think, to row a bucket. As you've talked about before many times, for the purpose of the bucket, but also that the pair that has to row the bucket in the middle has to almost row like a sculling boat. So
Truly.
you really have to take a special approach, not only to try to compensate and lean for the other side, because usually you go port, starboard, or starboard, port. When you have 2 people on the same side, it's easy to almost lean your body weight out just a little bit to try to compensate for having 2 oars on one side, even though you actually do have 2 on the other side. It can feel a little bit off balance, or take a little bit of getting used to. Getting that boat feel there, sitting smack dab in the middle of the buckets there. If you are a small spoon, as we say, in the bucket there. They are rowing it well. It is clearly working for them. They have practiced with it because they are very clearly in the lead here. So Olin Kuskaden doing a very good job stroking this Rose City 4.
Indubitably, yeah. And this is a really great shot for just kind of watching the angle of the wind. You can see it is now mostly a headwind, slight little cross angle, but not much. But there's really not much in it. It's not going to slow our boats down or destabilize them too much, but it is going to apply just a little bit of pressure on the back. It's really fun rowing into a headwind because you feel that kind of resistance, and it's almost like you're pressing your way into the future and towards your bow a little bit more forcefully. So I personally love rowing into a headwind. It sort of stabilizes the boat too. It allows for just a little, it's almost like you have training wheels on. The wind is there on either side of you, kind of keeping you aloft, and it's a nice sensation. Some folks do not like rowing into a headwind. I personally prefer it. You can kind of lean back into the wind and it feels real nice.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, if you know how to adjust in any type of wind, you can make small corrections with the rowing. You can lay back a little bit more. You can hold a finish just a split second longer. You can tap your hands down a little bit to get a little bit more clearance off the water. You can hold a feather a little bit longer so you don't sail away.
Totally.
There are all sorts of these little tweaks and technical things that you can do inside a boat in order to kind of compensate for being in that headwind, because if you row long enough, you are going to row in every type of weather possible. and even tornadoes in the Middle East. They
There you
do
go.
get some pretty wild weather
Yeah.
out there, which
Oklahoma
has
City.
happened before. It
Definitely.
absolutely has happened before. So
Yeah.
what we are looking at now, though, is Rose City coming up to the finisher chute unchallenged by their competitors, Mount Baker and Oregon Unlimited.
Yeah.
Mount Baker stroked by Reese Rosen, and Oregon stroked by Benjamin Steckler-Heim.
Yeah, Rose City is shucking and jiving, having a really good row there.
Shucking, another technical term up here with all the corn you guys have in the Pacific Northwest. Very well said. Couldn't have said it better myself. And here we go. Picking up the rate just a little bit for a sprint is Rose City. Trying to take it across the line here.
Yeah.
Let's see if
look
I
at
can
them
get a
go.
rate on them. Yep, 38. Very well done. And let's see, Mount Baker, if I'm not mistaken.
Look at them go. They are cruising. That's a really,
That's
really
right.
well-rowed Coxless 4.
That is a very well-rowed Coxless 4. That's right.
Dang.
This is a row that they should be proud of, even though they did not come in first here. They are out of 36.
That was smooth as
Strong
silk.
finish there.
Smooth as silk. All right, and here comes Oregon Rowing Unlimited, I believe. Oh, I see 2 bucket hats.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
So we had the buckets versus the buckets.
Oh my goodness. If only they had had a bucket rig to complement their bucket hats, it might have worked out for them.
That's right.
Free speed all day long. All right, gang. Thank you for all of your attendance today on the shores of Vancouver Lake. If you're here in person, welcome. If you're playing along online, we hope.